What's happening, guys? I'm William Craddock here with Tyler Green, and we're with Will Twin Gaming, and he is your Dallas Treasure Cup champion. And today, he's going to give a little tournament report, and we're going to bring it at you.
I'm Tyler Green. I won the Dallas Treasure Cup. It was super fun. It was my first big Bandai event ever I've gone to. I come from Pokemon. I play that with my daughter a lot. Big Flesh and Blood player. I love Flesh and Blood. This was just something kind of different and really just kind of been enjoying myself with it. So had a lot of preparation kind of going into. Dallas just ran a lot of kid. Obviously been seeing that top everything. The joke is on a scale of 1 to 10, was there at least 9 or was it all 10 kids did you see? So I was really just trying to take my deck for that. It was really cool. It was a really interesting tournament because there was some issues with the venue, so they actually were making it one day for all 9 rounds of Swiss, and then top 16. When I went to the finals, it was like 11:20 p.m. It was horrible, and so it was like a 4-hour drive for us. Yep. So me and one of our teammates picked him up at his house. So it was a 24-hour drive because we drove back that same night. So that was fun. And thank God for Buc-ee's.
Shout out to Buc-ee's.
Sponsorship. Oh, it's fantastic. And so when we ran it, and it was really interesting running the different tournament gambit because I saw pretty much everything was turn 1 Kaido, or round 1 Kaido. With Law, I was just praying to God I could just bum rush them because it's such a swingy matchup. I don't like it. It's probably my least favorite matchup, honestly.
Law, that's got to be one of our easiest too. If you kill their board, they just can't win.
So Scary Purple deck I got done with pretty easily. Second round, Luffy, pretty easy. I consider red and green the same when it comes to teching because you're really just controlling the board and then attacking their face. So it doesn't matter. It's kind of operates the same. Blue for the same reasons. And so beat Luffy. Round 3 had a blue deck. It was a Dofi.
You played against Dofi?
Dofi round 3 because I was obviously XO.
He must have been decent.
Yeah, and it was top table, so I was like, oh god, flying too close to the sun. And it was good. I mean, a blinged out Dofi player scares me because I feel like I'm not smart enough to play that.
Yeah, he knows
just
what he's
remember
doing.
it. Yeah, I'm not a smart player. I just get lucky. Round 4, I played Zoro. I was like, oh, thank God, this
Free wins?
It was actually a little tough just because I didn't draw super well, but yeah, it was good. And then round 5, I played another Luffy. So the first 5 rounds, I didn't see any green, and everybody was just like
statistical anomaly.
Oh, because it was everywhere. The top tables, it was just like green, 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 green. It was nothing but green.
You're like red deck,
and
3 wins.
Yeah, and so then round 6 was my only loss of the tournament, and I lost to a guy who went top 8. I don't remember his name. It was really, really good. He went down to time.
Was he on kid?
Yeah, he was on kid. Yeah, it was, and so that was my only loss. Round 7, I played another kid, one with 5 life. A lot of people were always saying the best thing to do with kid is just deny them cards, don't attack their life hard, just really just go after the board and have inevitability. I would just be very, I don't know, just so much pressure. So if I'm going turn 1, which I always try to go turn 1 every single time.
Yeah, if possible.
But you're cool, you're super happy going second also.
Right.
And so it's maybe I have a 1-drop, maybe I don't. Turn 2, please let me have an Okiku. I would mulligan for Okiku.
Yeah, best card in the deck.
Yeah, unless it was 4 big kids in an Okiku, I'd probably not mulligan an Okiku hand.
Yeah, it's just too good.
And so just having that Okiku going, it just says wherever you play, I'm going to murder with kid afterwards, unless you just use all the counter in your hand. And
then lose the game.
Correct. So it was just, I would go through that, and I would just come in with kid. I would always 5-check them, and they're cool, thanks to the cards. But the problem was then I'd start hitting their dudes, they'd lose all their hand, and I'm just hitting them so hard and fast. They're being very disciplined by not attacking, keeping their basil swung up so they'll pop their basil, kill one of my dudes, stand them up, keep them up, not attack their kid. But I'm still drawing cards, and I'm okay going, cool, here's 11-11 with kid.
Yeah.
And just rush them. And green has been, over time, cutting more and more counter.
Yeah, it's become less defensive.
All these techie things. And so, I played a kid. He didn't draw any blockers, but yeah, I 5-0'd. That was weird. I've never seen a kid mirror finish in 5 minutes.
No, it's like you're playing Zoro. Aggro.
Oh, it was so great. It I felt bad for him, but yeah. Then another kid, Law kid. It was great. I ended up third seed going in. It was weird.
A respectable third seed.
Yeah, well, it was weird because normally any other tournament, any sort of game I've ever played, the higher seed gets to pick.
Yep.
But it doesn't matter. If you're first playing 16th or whatever, it's a dice roll still.
Yeah, if you're not familiar, it's called the play-draw rule. It's most prevalent in Magic, where if you're the higher seed, you get to choose if you want to go first or second.
Yeah.
But Bandai does not have that in their games currently.
It was wild, but I remember we were kind of doing the math because, gosh, I don't remember off the top of my head. I feel like I'm safe in saying it was a minimum of like, I think there was 12 kids in top 16.
It was something like that. I know
It's
there's
plus
two
or minus
Rufys and a Kaido, and then just like kids. Insane.
Yeah, so I can say that I think it's 12 or 13, which is wild. But the I got to play a Luffy for top 16. I was super excited for that. Really good player. I think his deck was like $10,000 to $15,000. It was insane.
Was that Kyle Wapple?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Fully blinged out, choppers, manga shanks, everything. Yeah.
His Luffy should have swung for 6. That's how nice his deck was. Just mega shanks casually. I was like, bro. And so everything was so tense. Everyone was just really just super deciding what to do. It was
shaking. Like,
oh yeah.
My gosh.
And then you just hear someone go, woo! Like as soon as they won because they were in the money. For people that don't know, if you top 8, you got the Zoro and you also got the stamped Luffy, the serialized Luffy.
Yes.
And so
I don't recommend wooing because it kind of might kill your opponent's soul a little bit. Maybe woo outside, but
he already had a Luffy. It's okay.
Oh, yeah, he's fine. Kyle Wapple doesn't care.
I think it was just kid after that, and it was really cool. I didn't drop a single game in top 16. Just 2-0'd everything. So that was really cool. And
no
like
pressure.
Yeah, the best MVP set 1 with Green is 7-drop kid. 7-drop kid.
Besides Okiku, I second 7-drop kid.
Yeah. Oh my god. I call him mid kid. Just because sometimes there was a time I was playing the baby kid, but yeah, mid kid 4 of max. Just
absolutely.
If they would let me play 10, I would.
Yeah, I went up to 4 for this tournament because like the card is just nuts.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly who it was, but I was like I remember a judge like just eyeballed and just looked away. I had 3 7-drop. I think it was against Kyle. I had 3 7-drop kids, and it was just like, here's a board.
Yeah, vigilance with blocker. That's what it is.
God, I had to love that vigilance. One thing I was doing a lot that I hadn't done before, and I really think really helped me this tournament, was being aggressive with kid, just double swinging. Like I have a Basil Hawkins in hand or something that doesn't have counter. Just Leroy Jenkins with my kid, even if it's like at 7 or preferably 11 or something like that. There was nothing wrong with keeping all my cards in hand for counter.
Yeah.
Using 7-drop kid for 1 Dawn each on if I had 1 or 2, and then just everything else is just for kid. It was great.
I feel like a lot of the kid players in the room, you can correct me if you feel this way, they were playing kid and they had this like just semblance of an idea how to play kid, but when it came to very specific matchup situations, they were just kind of executing what they saw online or what they saw in a video, and they couldn't really think, well, should I go aggro here? Should I turn a corner here? They were just kind of doing what they saw other people do, and it kind of failed them. That's how I felt with a lot of kid matchups I played.
It's definitely there's definitely a luck aspect to it. I think that's with most things, but yeah, I do think the kid mirror really can separate the boys from the men, because the issue with it is there's so many lines.
Absolutely.
My biggest issue, and you joking around with me at locals, is I'm in the tank because I'm playing 3D chess 4 turns in a row. If I do this and he does that,
play slow.
I do not play slow. I just am trying to figure out if I do this, and because the counter situation's crazy. By making sure, like, okay, that's a 5K, I'm swinging 7 on it, or I'm going to swing 9 and make him get rid of 3 cards, saying I want something dead. One thing I really liked about my deck was I was playing 4 of the starter deck trigger killers. That was so great because I had never really played with it before this tournament, really. I do a little bit of testing, but I don't do a ton of testing. I could just pop that off and like kill their Okiku or their Nico Robin, and then I have something where I can put a couple Dawn on and even touch their life.
Huge tempo swing.
Oh, it's
Huge.
fantastic. One of my favorite things to bully people was I would use the fact I was playing against a good player against them. So you can, if someone's 8-0, 7-1, or they're in top 16, top 8, they're a good player.
Hopefully.
So for the most part, they're a good player.
They know what they're doing.
I will play differently against good players and bad players.
Yeah, you can bully lesser players. We'll call them lesser experienced players. We can bully them.
Well, actually, no. I bully. No. Don't give me a scrub. They scare the crap out of me. I don't know what they're thinking. No, I want the good people because.
Yeah, you can predict what they're going to do.
Yes, and so what I would do is I would swing. This would be early game. I would swing not super great math at their Okiku or Nico Robin. So for example, I would swing 6 and they go counter 2. Then I'd go 6 counter 2, and I'd get all their counter other hands.
Yeah.
And I have 3 Dawn left, and here's a kill it. If I swung at their life, they would just take the Dawn.
Absolutely.
They're like, thank you for the card, sir. But I got to kill the thing on board I wanted to kill, and they have very little cards in the hand, if any counter at all. And then that's just when I get to have pure dominance. Because there's nothing more fun than when you know they don't have counter and you can go exactsies. Oh, it's great.
We covered this in one of the videos. This is in line with what I call a chump check. You're just making attacks because you know the value for them is too high. They're gonna discard cards. If that's your intent. You know they're gonna keep this creature in play or keep this character in play. You just want cards out of their hand. And I'm the same as you. I went up on killers. I have no X-Drakes, where a lot of the lists were playing X-Drake, which I just think that card is trash. Killer is just a way better version of X-Drake.
Yeah, it's not a hot take. It's a very cold take. It's bad. Momo is bad. I don't like him at all. I don't like anything he stands for.
It's too risky.
No, because you do it, and it's pray to God you can find no Kiku or a 2K counter, but it's oh, there goes my big kid, there goes my mid kid, there goes my Law, there goes any of my blockers, Killer or Capone. And so it's one of those things where I don't want it. Joy Bonnie's fine for me. And that's what's going to let me play those killers because I like to play 4-ofs. I like consistency. I want to see my stuff because I was playing 3 Raizo. But, if I'm playing 4 Law, I'm playing, 4 mid kid, I'm playing 3 big kid, and I still had room for, 2 Basil, and I still had 2 Paradise Waterfall. Yeah. That's another thing. All of the top players were playing Paradise Waterfall because I had this happen to me, and it's so satisfying when they say, I want your big kid dead. He's dead this turn. Because they have a bunch of mid 5s, so they have to really have 1, maybe 2 big attacks.
Yeah, they commit a lot of Dawn.
Yeah, and there's you know what, you have 1 blocker, or maybe no blockers. Maybe they had no blockers. They chumped it or whatever. And they go, yeah, here's 12. Swing 12 when you're with your kid. And then I'll say, cool, I'm going to go counter 3 or whatever, 2-2. And then I'll play a Paradise Waterfall, get him over the hump, stand him up. And now they can't attack again because they left their 3 up to do that. And now they got to come at my face or just pass.
Yeah, as long as you're a healthy life total. Come at your face, sure. Bring it.
Thank you for the card, and my stuff is saved. And so just being able to counter out when you've blocked, I blocked with my mid kid or something, and then they go, okay, we're going to attack them, attack your life, counter it, stand it back up, and I can block with it a second time. Yeah. That same turn.
That's the best use of
it. Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
It's backbreaking for them.
I will say, when you're talking about Momo, I actually missed on a Jewelry Bonnie, and it lost me a game, and I was so sad. She let me down.
Have you considered getting good?
I tried. I was 3 Okikus and a Raizo and a Nico, and I was okay, well.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I like Momo and Fairy just because if you're playing Raizo, a good Raizo is worth his weight in gold because just getting that, and if you can play him behind an army of blockers,
or a big
kid, big kid, just that freebie. Here's 1 Dawn, and let's go to work.
Even if you don't have an extra Dawn that turn, you're just draw a card. Now they don't get a card.
Yeah, absolutely. I just swung it at a kid. His life obviously didn't need a block because it didn't do damage, but I got to draw the card, and I had a big kid out, so it was
extra 2K counter. That's all I heard.
Yeah, well, that was it. It was super fun. We were super tired towards the end. A lot of those players, I came from Magic, and then around competitive REL, it'll get you. Then around COVID, I just kind of got bored with WotC, so went over to Flesh and Blood. Best decision I ever made. loved it. But
Also
those
long days.
yes, but yeah, it's not uncommon for you to have hour-long rounds, and you're going to play 9 rounds at least. Plus, it's not going to happen immediately. Like, you're going to have time in between. There's no lunch break. And then the next day, day 2, you have 6 rounds. Then the top 8. So, a lot of these players were very fatigued.
Yeah, they're not used to this long tournament.
Super tired. Yeah. And it's like they're playing drunk sometimes. And so...
Yeah, if you watch the coverage, it was a little wonky, but that's okay. People get tired. It happens.
It was, yeah.
They'll get used to it. As long as there's like more of these big Bandai events, like the player base will get better. They'll get used to playing 9-10 hours a day.
Yeah, it was a great event though. I liked the judges. It ran so smoothly as it could have.
Yeah,
I don't really have any. You were there. I don't really have any
No.
complaints with it. It was a pretty well run tournament.
Yeah.
Especially all things considered.
I met Top Cut in Vegas. They ran Vegas also. They're pretty on top of it. I think there's a little few hiccups in Vegas, mainly because the venue is different. There's a lot of other stuff going on. But in Dallas, it was very smooth.
I was disappointed there was no raves. I
Yeah.
was really looking forward to just having that.
Our camera guy's over there smiling. He remembers the yeah, it was so bad. All right, guys. Well, that's the end of our video here. Tyler Green's going to be recurring since he's part of the team. We're going to do Paramount War deck techs. We're going to do Paramount War play testing with commentary. Be looking out for that. Online regionals come up in a few weeks, so that's what we're going to be prepping for. And don't forget to like and subscribe our videos. Do you have anything else to add?
Share this on social media. We're going to be doing, I think, some giveaways or something soon too, and just a lot of really just good meta testing with thoughtful commentary with gameplays and stuff like that. So kind of explaining why decisions are made and things like that just really help with your locals or other big events.
He mentioned giveaways. This is important. Our weekly schedule is going to change. Our videos, instead of Wednesday and Friday, will now be Wednesday and Saturday. And here in a few weeks, our Saturday is going to have a case opening, and we will be giving away a box of Paramount War. We haven't quite decided how we're going to be doing that, but we know it will involve our subscribers, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, so yeah, had a just